Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be having a look around Trull Waterfall. The Trull Waterfall is located, as you'd expect, in Trull, which is just outside of Taunton. So this is what I would describe as a bit of a hidden gem. It's tucked away on essentially what is a housing estate. So there is nearby parking in terms of a housing estate, and later on you'll see that there is another entrance which is near to a park, and a very well equipped park it is as well. So for the adults, you have the waterfall, which I'm giving you a sneak peek of there. The paths around it are ideal for dog walking. They're pretty well maintained with gravel, and you've got some nice picturesque bridges such as this one on the walking path. You also have a very well equipped children's playing field close by. So if you have younger children and you look on sites like Days Out with the Kids, where you can take kids to expend some of that energy but without the cost, then this I would say is ideal. So you've got these gates dotted around. There are also benches around the walking paths as well. So in terms of a day out, I wouldn't recommend this particularly as somewhere that I would travel a great distance to get to, but if you are local, then it's well worth a visit. As I say, particularly if you have younger children, the play park there is very well equipped indeed, and I'm sure on a day sunnier than today you could quite happily spend a good few hours with either a picnic basket or sat on one of the benches enjoying a bite to eat. So this path here is kind of typical of the dog walking paths around the area. As you can see, there's a fairly sizable field here, which you can walk around. The children's play park, which we'll see later on in the video, is also dog friendly as long as you keep your dogs on a leash, which is actually quite unusual. A lot of children's play parks won't allow animals in there. So as always, as long as you're a responsible owner, picking up after your dog and respecting others, then I'm sure that's just going to be fine. And there are also designated dog poo bins, as we saw there, around the walking path. So we are having a walk around Easter weekend. So we've had some fairly dry weather, and so the waterfall itself is not going to be in full flow, but we're getting a decent amount. So unfortunately it was also a windy day, so I tried my best to pick up the audio whilst I was there with the microphone covered, but there's quite a bit of wind, which is why I'm doing a voiceover afterwards with a little bit of background music. So rather than talk through the whole video, I'm just going to do a little bit of a brief introduction, as I've said here, and then I'll leave you to enjoy the walk around. In summary, what we've got is some really well kept paths, some nice landscaping around. Some of the paths are just outside some private residences, which you can tell they've really looked after them. And you've got this stream stroke river, depending on whether the weather's been kind or not, that winds itself around a little bit of a natural valley around the walking site itself. So we spent probably around about 2 hours walking around the site. Don't worry, I've not done it all in real time. I've edited this down, but yeah, it was worth a bit of a journey to come and see it. I believe this is the remnants of some kind of mill local to the area. You've got some sluice gates around here, and as you can see, it is flowing quite nicely. It's a shame that we couldn't find a way down to that pebbled area down at the bottom, because that would be an absolutely picturesque spot to bring a couple of camping chairs and just enjoy nature. As I say, there were plenty of benches dotted around, and the children's play park and the field, which I've referred to a couple of times, has an outdoor gymnasium, had some seating, had some really nice little touches. It's obvious that some money has been invested into there. So if you're thinking of somewhere similar in terms of the play equipment, and I would liken it probably to Vivery Park, and probably a little bit better for the younger children, the toddlers and upwards, in terms of being able to spend a day out. I do hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that it's a hidden gem you'll be able to get to and have a look around, and I also hope that you are enjoying the content. I do intend at some point to perhaps put these kind of exploration and weekend breaks onto a different channel. So we are fortunate that we live in this area of the world, and we have lots of beaches around Somerset, more so Devon and Cornwall, and we've got a couple of holidays, we're very fortunate, coming up, which I will capture a bit of footage with the gimbal, and on days that are a little bit less breezy than this, the drone as well. So at the drone, I was going to fly around just to get some nice sweeping shots of the area. It doesn't much like water, so last time I tried to get some beautiful shots over water, it landed in a pond and I had to go and retrieve it, which wasn't much fun. When I say I had to retrieve it, my partner, she was immediately in there to go and rescue the drone, and I'm amazed it's still working actually. So that's to look forward to. We got a DJI Neo, if interested in that kind of thing. I'm also capturing this footage with a DJI gimbal. I think it's the Osmo 7, I want to say. And I did also have the microphones, probably user error even. I set them up with what is the windbreak attachment to the furry type thing. But when I heard the audio back, yeah, there was quite a bit of background wind in there, hence the voiceover. As you can see, the path does take us through some residential type areas, and then, I say residential, they're privately owned, but we're walking along a public right of way, and here's the play park. So as you can see, they've got a full-size football net there, so I guess there's a local football team that would use this, because there's also a pavilion. And it is dog friendly as well, long as your dogs are on lead, as I mentioned earlier. So we have this roundabout. We'll swing around so you can see some of the facilities. You can see there's a really well kept path around the entire field, which is, I think it's rubberized. Certainly the play equipment for the children, it's got rubber tarmac around all of the play equipment to keep it nice and safe. So I'm going to end the narration here so that you can enjoy the rest of the walk around of the Trull Waterfall and the play park, which is located near it. So I would say if you are a family with a little one, you want to keep costs down, let them expend a little bit of energy, perhaps even bring a picnic, then this for me would be a good recommend. I'm always looking out for new places to explore. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you watched the video through to the end and it's useful to give you an idea of whether you'd like to visit, and I'd be really grateful if you could hit the subscribe button, because I will be planning more and more content, and I hope to see you in a future video.